So let's check out what we get inside this box. So we'll just go ahead and take the lid off here, like so. Clearly we are presented with the monitor or monitors themselves right out of the box. Now they've got a little bit of weight to them. These are 18 inches, so they're quite a hefty size. And there is 2 of them, bearing in mind. So there's a little bit of weight there for sure, but nothing sort of too dramatic right there. Let's just put these to one side for a second so we can see what else comes inside the box. We get a little quick start manual here, which obviously we'll go ahead and read off camera to get set up. We get a little box over here, which feels quite heavy. Assume it was going to be some cables, but maybe it'll be the power lead or power adapter, sorry. And that is what is in there, like so. It's a bit dirty, but that's fine. So we've got the power adapter there, obviously to plug this in. This is what's going to charge and turn on the monitors, power them up. And then we are provided with some cables, it seems, which is always handy. So we've got a USB-C to USB-C, it looks like, another USB to USB-C, a HDMI to mini HDMI, sorry, and another HDMI to mini HDMI. So you get 2 sets of cables. Of course, this thing is 2 monitors in one, or 2 separate monitors. So you do get 2 lots of cables, so you can plug it into your MacBook and PlayStation, or PlayStation and Xbox. But we'll go ahead and get it set up and we'll take a look at that just now. Right, so we've just got this thing out of the packaging and I just want to show you some of the details of these monitors. So firstly here you can see that there are 4 holes, meaning this is VESA compatible, and I believe it's 75 by 75. So if you did want to put these monitors on a monitor arm, as long as it's VESA compatible and you've got the 75 by 75, you can go ahead and mount this to any monitor arm. Secondly, if you didn't have a monitor arm, you do have this sort of handy little stand down here that clearly folds out, and all the hinges on this of both the monitor and the hinge in here for the stand are quite stiff. And obviously that's because there's a little bit of weight behind this, so it needs to be a little bit stiff so it's going to hold it and not just completely close flat as soon as you open it. But it feels pretty stiff and it seems like it provides a nice range of adjustments. So of course you can have the monitors at whichever angle you choose if you don't want to have them mounted onto a monitor arm. Then as you can see here, we've got a couple of labels for display and power only. And if we take a little look at the ports there, you can see we've got a USB-C, which is obviously going to be power only. USB-C here, which is going to be display and maybe power on. We'll check this out. Then, of course, you've got 2 mini HDMI ports and then another USB-C port there. Then again, on the stand, there are some rubber feet at the bottom on the bottom monitor. And then there are some more rubber feet on here on the stand, which again is going to allow this to sit nicely on your desk. It's quite a thick rubber down here, which is certainly going to do the job at just providing some friction so it doesn't slide off your desk. Then finally, if we turn the monitor around, we do see we are provided with some buttons. These are like little dials that you can go up or down. And then there's obviously a confirmation button on either one. So we'll check that out once we get this set up. And then finally, at this point, I think let me just go ahead and show you how the stand works. So you fold out the stand a little, that's going to hold like so. And then at this point, you can fold out the secondary monitor, which as I said, is on a hinge and the hinge is quite stiff. But of course, that's going to allow it so it doesn't just snap back as soon as you let go. So you are going to be able to have this into any position that you want. It does seem to lay pretty much flat. In fact, it can go all the way around. So essentially you can have a front to back display, or of course you're probably going to want to have it something like this in this orientation. So the stand is doing a good job at holding the monitor, and the super stiff bracket inside there is going to allow this monitor to stand up freely and not just completely collapse shut. So first up, I'm just going to go ahead and use a USB-C cable to connect the MacBook to the monitor and see if it will power up without using the power adapter. Okay, so I hope that you can see that. I've gone ahead and connected it to USB-C, to the monitors, to the MacBook, and I'm using the port that is labeled as display and not power on these screens. Now, as you can see, they are powered on, but the picture is quite dull. So let's go ahead and see if we can make this a little bit brighter. So on this side of the monitor are where those controls are. So I think at this point we can just go ahead and there we go. So something to note here, clearly because we're using USB-C to power these devices on, the brightness has been limited. So if you go ahead and actually turn the brightness up, it gives you a message here saying, while power shortage causes restart or flicker, connect an external power source. So if we actually go ahead and turn the brightness up, you'll see these screens cut out. like so. So it does need clearly an external power if you want to use them at a decent brightness level. Right, so I've gone ahead and connected the power supply, I've plugged it in, and we are using the USB-C to USB-C. As you can see, instantly the monitors are way brighter, the colors are way better. They're still not maybe 100% match for the MacBook, and MacBook is very vibrant, but we can probably play around with some of that. So it's at this point, now it's plugged in, we can actually dive in and check out the settings a little bit better. So again, these are the modes I was talking about. There is clone mode, expansion, sequence, and stand along. So in the instruction manuals here, it does give a little sort of demonstration. So if I'm just going to go ahead and sort of show you that on camera like so, and you can use these two monitors independently or make them into one big screen. So maybe we'll go ahead and check out some of these in the settings now to see if we can get that to work, because currently as we move the mouse on the MacBook, the mouse is moved on the screen and everything is just being cloned, which isn't really what you want. So if we go in here and hit this button and we can go down, we've got expansion. Let's try sequence. So monitors will turn off, it will reset itself, and it should then load back in. As you can see the resolution there. This has made it into one big screen, I think, at this point, blown up because it's in a portrait fashion now. So you can use these independently, but this is now one big monitor. So you've got your MacBook and then you've got this. And if I drag over the displays window over here, you can see what that looks like. So the resolution is 1920 by 2160, and I think it looks really good. I'll bring you in for a closer look so you can take a look at the text clarity just now. Okay, so I've got you in for a closer look here so you can kind of get an idea and feel of the text clarity. It's not as sharp as the MacBook by any means, but it's also not bad at all. It's actually very good. There are different resolutions in here that you can pick, but of course we're just going to keep with the one that's connected. And the refresh rate we get is 60 Hz, which is fine for just doing work purposes. So I was hoping that I'd be able to use the two monitors as independent monitors, but as I said earlier, this is a MacBook M1 Air. Both of my MacBooks are Airs, and that means that they cannot support two external monitors. I was kind of hoping in a way that because it's one monitor split into two, it would almost work, but it doesn't. You can use it as a secondary display, as you can see. I can use this monitor over here independently, come over here and then use this monitor independently, but both of these monitors just mirror. I will go ahead and connect a different laptop that can support two external screens to see if you can use both monitors independently with the one laptop device before going ahead and connecting them to some consoles like a PlayStation 5, and we'll go ahead and check out all of that good stuff. Also, there was just one thing that I wanted to highlight was the fact that this actually does do power delivery. So as you can see, my MacBook is actually being charged over here, which means this has power delivery through the USB-C port that is marked as display only, but clearly it also passes in the power delivery from the AC adapter that is plugged into the screen to power the monitors. It also then provides power delivery, which means your laptop is never going to run out of battery and you can just run a single cable setup from monitor to MacBook. We love to see it. Right, so I've gone ahead and connected my Windows laptop to the two displays. Now we are using a USB-C and the HDMI to the mini HDMI, and that is how you're able to use both screens independently. As you can see here, there are two external monitors attached to this laptop. So if I move the mouse over, you can see it's in the bottom screen, and then you can go to the top screen. It will not work with my MacBook, obviously, because it is an M1 Air, like I said, and I did try using just a single cable to get it to work on both monitors, but that doesn't work either. These are always cloned if you're using a single cable, whereas if you use two cables, so a USB-C and then like the mini HDMI that we've got going here, then you can use both monitors independently. So you can have, I don't know, your videos up here watching YouTube or something, your work down here, and then you can still use your laptop for another display. So you've essentially got three screens with this fold-out monitor. I'll just bring you in a little bit closer again, and I've got some code here up on the screen. This is old code. Do not hate me for this. This is an old laptop that I don't use anymore, but it kind of gives you an idea of what the text clarity is going to look like. It's actually really good. It's probably similar to what you'd get on the actual laptop screen itself. This is the LG Gram 2023 edition, I want to say. The text colors and everything on these screens are actually really good. Of course, they're 1080p, I believe, so they're not 4K quality. That's why it doesn't scale up and quite match the MacBook, of course, but they are very usable. They are very good indeed. The next thing we really need to test is what does gaming look like on these things. So let me go ahead and connect a console to one of these so we can see exactly how it's going to look. So we're now connected up to the PlayStation and the laptop. So the laptop is using the USB-C connection, and the PlayStation, of course, is using HDMI to mini HDMI. And as I think that you can see, the quality is really good. This is Astrobot loaded up. The colors are super vibrant. This, again, is only a 1080p display, but look how good the colors are. I think they're actually really impressive. These monitors do have built-in speakers, but seemingly, at least I've tried for the last 5 minutes to get some sound coming out of this monitor. Currently, the sound is coming out of the DualSense. I can get sound out of the monitor, but only from the Windows laptop that's connected and not from the HDMI. Now, maybe if I was to change them around, I think the bottom monitor almost acts as the main display, and perhaps that's where the speakers are, as that's where all the buttons are, of course. So maybe if I was to plug the HDMI in the lower monitor and the USB-C in the upper monitor, then maybe I could get sound. But it does seem like you can only get sound from one monitor and not both at the same time, which I guess is fair. But at the same time, it would have been nice just to see that. Maybe you can, I just haven't been able to get it to work exactly. So I'm going to bring you in slightly a little bit closer just so you can get those colors and the vibrancy a little bit better on camera. It's super vibrant. I mean, this game is awesome for the colors and just how vibrant they are. You know, it's super appealing to the eye, but it actually looks really good on this display. I'm very impressed with it, to be honest with you. You never know what you're going to get when you turn these displays on, whether they're going to be pretty washed out or not. This one is not washed out at all. It looks actually very, very good. So I just wanted to quickly show you some of the settings in here. We get picture settings, we get color effect, some information here, reset options. There are some advanced options like crosshair, 3D sound, ultra HDR mode. You've got options in here. Of course, we're using a wide aspect ratio because that's how the monitors are. Temperature, so you can, I guess, color match a little bit closer to what you'd prefer. OSD settings, and then back to picture. So not a whole lot, but certainly something a little bit extra so you can get a little bit of customization in there in the options in the menu. So guys, I think that's going to do it for this one. That, of course, was a quick look at the Delta Max stacked monitor laptop dual screen folding 18.5-inch monitor displays from the guys over at UPERFECT. So if you like what you see, there will, of course, be a link down below in the description for you to take a look at. And if you have any further questions, kindly let me know, and of course, I'll get back to you. But until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.